Saturday afternoon, the 13th. I'm here at the Orville Library and reconnecting with my new friend Sam Taylor. Sam's a very colorful gentleman, as you'll see here. He was orphaned as a child and grew up with no parents and was homeless for a good portion of his life, and had spent 22 years in a home and recently evicted. And when I came here, he said he was a little frustrated, couldn't get on the Maidenform site, and I asked him what that was, and he said, bras and girdles. I said, no wonder I hadn't heard about it. But anyway, enjoy meeting Sam. Cheers.
But I've always worked. That's why I'm a hobo. There's a difference between a hobo, a tramp, a bum, and a home guard. You know what a home guard is?
No, I don't. I haven't heard that term.
The home guards are bums who stay in one town or stay on one skid row. They call those home guards. Okay. Then a tramp is the guy that hitchhikes and walks from place to place, where a hobo rides trains, and a bum is a guy who just bums, you know, feed me, I'm homeless.
So I'm a tramp from what I do. I go from town to town.
You're a tramp.
I make my own way.
You're a great American tramp.
What do you like about Orville? Why have you kind of settled in here?
I just like the weather. I never got into too many people. I lived on Beach Street until they arrested my friend and had code enforcement. And I hate to say it, I was a hoarder. And I had a hot water heater in my kitchen that was not outside but inside. And that was a violation. But I also was a hoarder and had stacks of stuff that I'd been accumulating for 22 years in that little house. But I only paid $200 a month's rent for it.
Wow.
You know. So, and I had a pretty decent landlord.
So when did you get kicked out of there for the code violations?
That was in June, around the 24th.
Okay.
And they put red tag on it. But I snuck back in there. And the police finally came and they looked at my legs and they said, either we're going to arrest you or you're going to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital from then until the 9th of July. And when I got out at the 9th of July, they had boarded up the house. And when I went back a couple weeks later, I went and bought a tent, started sleeping on the river. And I finally got back a couple weeks later and the houses were cleaned out. You know, all my stuff was gone.
All the stuff. How did you feel? I mean, that must have been crazy.
Pretty bad.
Wow.
Especially in animal control, because I saw him do that to a friend of mine. And her ranch, you know, they declared it a, what they call that, a vacant lot, even though she had a house on it. And they went in there without a warrant and they seized her horses. And then when the judge said they couldn't do that, they said, well, we're not going to give them back. So nothing else was ever done. And that's Butte County Justice.